Hi guys, I'm Trainer Dan and we're looking at seated dumbbell curls. Hitting on the biceps, great exercise. Being in a seated position just helps us isolate the biceps a little bit better because it eliminates a little bit of movement and swing. So it reduces the weight a little bit, which as always, I always say isn't a bad thing. It just helps us focus on the muscle group. Now this technique we're working both dumbbells at the same time, okay? And the key pointers on this are elbow positioning, okay? As we're turning up, we're going to work it where we're going to put the supination at the bottom, and this should be at the same time on the way up and on the way down, because that is going to ensure that we've got a nice long eccentric contraction working through this short head of the bicep, and that is where we want the actual stimulation. Even though we're working all the bicep, we want to really emphasize the stimulation through that short head. Otherwise, we end up coming up sort of half-cocked, so to speak, and we're never hitting it. We're just working mainly the brachialis and the long head. And we want that. We want this short head really working. So elbow positioning, as well as this supination, is an important thing. Don't let the elbows be lifted up, okay? Don't let the elbows be dropping back. That can happen. Get a nice solid posture when you're up there. So don't just be sat on the bench, you know, with this back pushed in. Get your posture upwards, nice and solid. You see I've lifted my chest out there. That also produces kind of a forced kind of neutral spine up on that bench. And then from there, we'll work both hands at the same time, working it up, early turn. Make sure you get that supination, and then down, and I'm going to turn at the same time at the bottom one, okay? So I turn here on the way up, I'm working that supination, I'm emphasizing the pressure on this little finger side of my palms into the dumbbell as I curl up, so I can really emphasize that supination. Squeeze it up, keep them elbows in position, then down nice and long, working that eccentric, and then turning on that last point at the bottom. So working it down with the dumbbells, as you can see the movement there. On what I'm trying to do, you can now see it in action. So my posture's up nice and solid, I'm in position, I'm going to go for that early turn, I'm working the palms in, okay, touching that dumbbell, squeezing it up, and then down. Now I'm showing you overly slow just to show you the movement on what I'm doing, but if I was working up with some consistent repetitions, this is how I would be working it. Get that early turn at the bottom and then late turn on the way down, keeping that posture up and maintaining that elbow position throughout.